Are you ready for a showdown?
Let's get ready to rumble!
This week, I'm exploring the ultimate battle between boomers and millennials and the fight for the most coveted prize, a house. I'm taking an eye-opening look at this generational clash between boomers and millennials and them trying to get a home. Millennials have been struggling so hard to get a house these past few years. A study just came out recently showing that the baby boomers are becoming some pretty big competition for our millennials. Oh my God, can these guys ever catch a break? I can't. All right, so let's talk about this today. And of course, I want to know what your opinions are, and feel free to drop comments below. All right, let's get started. All right, I don't want to cause any real fights here between these two generations, and I don't want any hate thrown on the boomers or the millennials. Look, and I'm not trying to be a pot stirrer or anything like that, but we got to look at the facts here. And the millennials, yeah, you guys have been struggling like a lot the past few years. So I totally understand your frustration, but I hate to add to your frustration, but baby boomers are throwing a wrench into this whole thing, and now you're competing against them.
This is the only way you'll ever own a house.
Learning how to text is the only way you'll ever communicate with your son.
So let's talk about what's going on here and why it's happening. So there's some new data that came out from the National Association of Realtors, and it shows that between the period of July of 2021 and June of 2022, baby boomers were the largest share of home buyers during that period. Boomers purchased 39% of the homes that were for sale during that time, and that was up from 29% from the year prior. Millennials only made up 28% of the home buyers during that time period. That's down from 43% from the prior year. So what in the heck is going on? Well, if you ask me, it's just a case of bad timing. Yep. So millennials are in the market right now, and boomers are entering back into the market because they're looking to buy their retirement homes. Oh my God. Can the stars ever align for the millennials? So let's go back and look at the millennial problems here. So going back to the Great Recession in 2008. Now, a lot of you guys were coming out of college at that point, or entering college, or you were going into the workforce and you couldn't find a job. It was hard to get a job. It was hard to get a good paying job during that time period. So you had a slow start in your careers, and slow start with like making any decent money. Like you had a slow start even making more money than your parents did. So it was really rough in the beginning for you guys. Now let's add on top of that, during that period, because of the Great Recession, home builders held back on building homes because of the housing crash. During the period between 2010 and 2019, there were only 21,000 homes per 1 million people built. I'm going to say that again. 21,000 homes per 1 million people.
Are you kidding me?
That's like next to nothing. They hardly built any homes during that time period. So now we go ahead to 2019, and things are starting to look better for the millennials. They're in good jobs right now. They're making their money. They have money saved. They're entering the age to finally get a home. A lot of them did delay that milestone of home ownership because they did get a slow start in their careers and they needed to save the money. And it also has shown that millennials also, are getting married and starting families later in life. Majority of them are ready to go out and buy their first home. But then we enter 2020 and that stupid damn pandemic that threw another wrench into these poor millennials' plans of actually living the American dream and finally owning a home. Couple that with the shortage of homes, which was occurring for that last decade of 2010 to 2019, now the low interest rates, and everybody just jumping into the market to take advantage of those low interest rates. Plus, there was 72.1 million millennials. Yes, they are the largest generation. So 72.1 millennials, not only competing against each other, let's just add some more people into it because of the low interest rates. And let's add baby boomers in there because now they're coming of age where they're ready to retire.
We're a generation of doers.
Not whiners.
And we're doing great.
Now let's talk about our boomers, baby boomers. when they bought their homes back in the 1960s, 1970s, that was when there was a whole big home building boom that was going on during that time. And there were 50,000 homes per 1 million people that were built, more than double than what was built between 2010 and 2019. So big difference there. So there were homes galore available for all these baby boomers. And studies show that whole building boom during the 60s and 70s drove homeownership. More than half of boomers owned a home by the time they were 30 years old. Now, comparing that with millennials, only 42% of millennials own a home by the age of 30. Hey, I don't care if you're a millennial or a boomer, all are welcome here on my channel. So do me a favor, like this video, and can you also please subscribe? I would love to have you part of my community. I do live streams every Monday, post here every week, and we talk about all things real estate. So you don't want to miss out on that. So do that now, subscribe. The share of recent buyers of the age 60 years and older, that grew 47% from 2009 to 2019. So now you have all this extra competition going up against the millennials.
What do you mean, Patrick? Old people are the greatest. They're full of wisdom and experience.
Okay, boomer. Now, as we know, cash is king, and boomers have a lot of it. So last October, roughly a third of the home purchases were paid with cash. Yes, they were. They're sitting on a lot of equity. According to the National Association of Realtors, the average homeowner over the past decade has accrued approximately $210,000 in equity on their home. So think about that. If you have a baby boomer that's been in their house longer than a decade ago, they've been in their house for 35 years, they're sitting on a lot of equity. So what's happening is they're pulling that equity out of their house to go buy the next home, or they're selling their home, taking a majority of that cash to buy the next place. So they have leverage over the millennials. This is really frustrating. I know, I get it. But from a seller standpoint, someone's making an offer to them and they're either all cash or they have a significant amount of money to put down, say 30, 40, even 50% in some cases. Yeah, that's a problem. So this is why millennials are struggling to compete against the boomers, because they really don't have that money. In some cases, they have really good jobs and they worked really hard to save their money. They do have it. They have the money to put down a decent down payment. But most cases, they do not. It's been a struggle for them. So what can one do? Well, here's the thing. This is just a snapshot between July of 21 and June of 22. Is that trend going to continue? Are the boomers going to continue to buy up all the homes? We don't know. Now, the millennials can sit it out and wait until the boomers age out of the market, but you're going to be sitting for a while. I hate to say it. You'll be sitting there for a long time. But because of the rising interest rates, they're much higher than they were. That has pulled back a lot of the demand. A lot of people have dropped out of the market, so the competition is less. It's not great. It hasn't dropped down a ton, but it's definitely gotten better, especially in some markets. So I don't want you guys to lose hope on this, that you're never going to get a house, but I just wanted to share this information with you as to what's going on. You're hearing that, sellers are accepting cash offers, and yeah, it's more likely coming from our baby boomers. Again, please don't hate on your baby boomers. I just really think it's just bad timing, and I feel really bad for you guys. But please do not lose hope. If you continue saving your money and stay on top of your credit, please keep that credit score really good so you can get a good interest rate. And if you have any debt, such as your student loans, really hone in on trying to pay off as much as you can so you're able to afford a home. Another issue that the millennials face is the amount of student debt that they've acquired. So those three things you need to focus on, and just keep your head in the game, stay focused. It will definitely happen for you. I really hope you found this information helpful. And if you are a millennial and you want to learn about what else has been going on with you guys in this crazy housing market, please check out my playlist right over here. I think you'll really find it helpful, and you'll get a lot of good information out of that. Thank you so much for watching me today. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.